Hello, I am Squally Gamer, and Diablo 4 is a good game. No, but seriously, it's in a difficult spot right now. Like, the reception to season 3 has been pretty bad, and I'm here to give my honest thoughts about it. Now, I have played a lot. If I go to the collections, you can see my fallen characters. I have 3 barbarians that have died this season. One was level 50. So I've played more, something like 30 hours, maybe more, and I have a pretty good idea of how everything works. The balancing changes were pretty okay. I mean, for barbarians at least, it has enabled builds and give them more power, even though they had a lot of power recently. Hoda is still fucking crazy, but I'm trying to play a rogue, a marksman rogue, which is also got a pretty good buff this season. Now, the seasonal quest line is actually, you know, something like 3 to 4 hours if you listen to all the dialogue and if you pay attention to it. If you rush it, it's obviously very much shorter, but it's pretty okay. I was pretty disappointed by the fight with Malphas, which is the static boss that is the final boss of this quest line, which has a lot of traps in the arena. And the first time I fought it, I killed them no problem. It does do a lot of damage with the traps, because the traps are mostly elemental damage, and when we fight them, if we don't really level before, the elemental damage will hit us pretty hard. So if you're having trouble with it, just stock up elemental resistances and you should be fine. Now, that's the only thing I thought it was disappointing about the quest line. Is pretty okay, but I feel disappointed on the quest lines in Diablo 4, mainly because they have the opportunity of start building up hype for the new expansion that they already announced. And I don't know, maybe my brain is broken from playing Destiny a little bit, but what Destiny does is that they have these also seasonal quest lines, but these seasonal quest lines, the story that they have, they all work in tandem with the main narrative. So they move the story forward, even though it's a little bit, because it's not really that much. Obviously, the bulk of the story is going to come in the expansion, but they do move the narrative a little bit in order to, you know, hype up the coming expansion. Now, I haven't seen that in these seasons. These are pretty isolated storylines, and I think it's a good opportunity that they have to use these, let's say, seasonal quest lines to build hype and move the story forward in for what the expansion is going to be and the story in the expansion is going to be. I would very much like for them to do that, but they're not doing that, so okay. And I think that is mainly the criticism that everybody has with the Diablo 4 team, that they are not really taking advantage of what they have. I like Diablo 4. I think it's a good casual game. It's not a good, you know, no life game. You know, Path of Exile is for that. Last Epochs is for that. But Diablo 4 is a good casual game that is somehow, when they add new things to the game, makes it not really casual friendly. Like the things that you have to farm for in this game, which are the governing stones and the tuning stones, you have to do so much to get even one of them to level 10. Some of the content creators have calculated that maybe if you're lucky, you can do one stone and get it to level 10 in like 40 hours. And you have 8 in total, which is a lot. Now, there are some governing stones that are, some tuning stones that are unique. Now, these tuning stones that are unique have a drop chance that is 8 times lower than the uber unique items. You know, the Shaco, the Grandfather, and things like that. These unique tuning stones are 8 times lower drop chance than the uber unique items. Now, they have, of course, released a patch and they have fixed some of the gripes that the community have. But the main point that I'm trying to make is that even though this game doesn't really have enough content to keep people attached to it for long, it is expecting you to play for long sessions to get the seasonal things leveled up to max. You know, it happened also with the seasonal theme in the second season, where to level up, you know, the vampiric powers, it was a grind fest. But at least the vampiric powers were impactful. You could see them do something in battle. But no, that is not the case with these season with the Seneschal construct. Now the Seneschal construct does not feel impactful at all. I mean, I tried to have him buff me and, you know, heal me, protect me, and fortify me and things like that, especially with the barbs. But it doesn't really do that much until you get these stones to a max level. And that's when they do something that is acceptable and that in paper feels like it would be impactful, even though we can't say for sure, because like almost nobody has the governing stones and the tuning stones leveled up to max. So that is a problem. I mean, it's really crazy. The attack power of the Seneschal construct scales up with the base stats of the character, which is a problem in game, because what we do in game is we use multipliers to improve our character, right? We basically have our base, you know, attack power, let's say, and then through the gear that we acquire, we take multiplicative bonuses to make that damage scale. Now the Seneschal construct does not scale of those multiplicative modifications, it just scales of our base stats. So in game, when we really start doing a lot of damage because of all the multiplicative bonuses, the Seneschal is just scaling up of the base stats. That makes it like basically useless, at least in the attack department, because defensively you need to get more stones for it to actually be useful. It is pretty sad. Now, to get these stones, what do you have to do? You have to basically kill monsters, and you can buy a cache that has a stone that's random, and you can, you know, do the seasonal activity and get materials to summon, you know, the Herald of Malphas, the Son of Malphas, and then fight the Uber version of Malphas, which is actually pretty difficult, and it has been retuned in the patch. It is a grind fest to be able to do that, and the Herald of Malphas is actually pretty fucking powerful. It has a ton of HP. The Son of Malphas also has a lot of HP. I think it might be overtuned because it takes a whole lot of time to kill him, or maybe it's because you know, my character wasn't fully online when I fought him, the times I fought him, so it was pretty hard for me, you know. But it has a lot of HP. It doesn't really do that much damage. You can fight him comfortably, but you have to fight him for a long time. So killing them, you get these stones that are going to move the needle forward to up the ranks of your stones. Now they have listened and the feedback has been heard, and now they have changed how easy or difficult it is to level up these stones. Before, we have to get to 30 to rank them to level 2. Now we have to get to only 10, and they have reduced, you know, their requirements for leveling up the governing stones and the tuning stones. So they are listening, but the vaults, which are the main new end game system, is kind of boring. And it's kind of boring because it's a dungeon that is mainly focused on having traps and avoiding traps. Now, I remembered that the Diablo IV team actually changed the traps in the overworld and wherever we interacted with them. Let's go here, because I looked for it. It turns out in October 17th, 2023, they had this patch 1.2.0, right? Which was, if I'm not mistaken, the launch of the second season. This is, if we look for the word trap and I go down, I have this one right here. Effects of various traps in the world have been adjusted. Barrels now just a one-time explosion, no longer have a lingering effect, etc. Bird traps duration reduced from 3 to 1 second. Mines and the rock drop, right, which are the main ones we see when we're doing every type of content and dungeons mostly. They nerfed all of them in October, and now they come up with a season that is nothing but traps, and that you have to fight enemies while avoiding traps with all the crazy particle effects that they have, and you can't really see what the fuck is happening, so you'll eventually, or either you'll take a ton of damage and you might die if the enemies hit you because you're avoiding traps when fighting them, or you will end up touching traps. The most effective strategy is to just ignore the traps, just hit them, it doesn't really matter. Or play a ranged character and then stand in a corner where none of the traps are hitting and spam your abilities. That's it. That's the gameplay. It's bad, it's boring, and it doesn't really make for a challenging gameplay experience. And that's what has happened. Like, nobody's playing this game, and I mean nobody in the content creation side of things is playing the game. Most of them already left days ago, and the season is only what, 5 days old, and most have left since like what, day 2 or 3, and people are not playing the game. I tried to fight a world boss, nobody was there. I couldn't fight him because I mean I was level 33 when I went there. I didn't have the damage. It was going to be a waste of time. I did a legion, I saw one person, and that's it. And we did it and we completed it, cool. I did another legion alone, and I've seen only one other person in the little new town that is in the vault section of the map, where the main campaign of the season happens, and I've only seen one other person. That's it. I've seen 2 people while playing the game, nothing more. I don't know where everybody is. I don't know if I get shit servers that are empty, but that's all I've seen. It's pretty sad. Diablo 4 is in a bad state right now, and it's very sad that we get this season that is not compelling enough right after a season that was widely regarded as a good season. If we go to the seasonal the seasonal journey, I mean, I don't really like the cosmetic armor. Maybe you do, but I don't. And another problem that I have with the season is the seasonal journey. These caches give you pearls of warding, governing stones, and tuning stones. Now, I am trash. I know I'm bad, and it's my problem, and it is my fault, and I need to get better, and that's why I lost 3 barbarians. But the caches gave you governing stones and tuning stones. My characters with which I claim the chapter rewards, these 2 were hardcore characters that claimed them. So, well, they're dead. So, fuck me, right? Sucks to suck. I lost everything. It feels pretty fucking bad. Why isn't this seneschal construct account wide? I mean, you can have it be, you know, a grind fest, but make it account wide. Why do we have to keep saying the same thing? It happened the same with the vampiric powers. They weren't account wide. If you make another character, well, there you go, farming everything again and leveling up everything again. It doesn't make for good gameplay. Is actually harmful to the game, because that means nobody's gonna give a shit to make alt characters, because I mean, it's not really rewarding to having to do everything again. It's the reason why they have to make the progress of the renown system account wide and not having to do it all the time, because nobody wanted to do it again. So yeah, I think the best the worst thing that I find with the season is that it shows that they have learned nothing. It shows that they don't play the game, even though we know they don't play the game. But it's sad that I love the way Diablo 4 looks, I love the way Diablo 4 sounds, I love the way Diablo 4 plays, but I don't love the way they're making use of all of these characteristics of features of the game. Because even though it has so much potential, bad decisions are ruining the enjoyment and the excitement for the game. That's all I have to say, truly, honestly. It's pretty fucking sad. But I'll continue to play. I don't know, man. Palworld is better. That's it. Take care. Bye bye.